Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning from the mountaintop.
From the mountains. That's right. From the mountains. We're in the mountains right now, Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. And we've been here since Thursday. We've had a nice time. But right after the show, we get back on the road to go back to Charlotte.
Heading on back. Now, today's show is a very special show. It's the first time that we're going to do a movie review.
Yes. We're going to do a movie review. Now, we've seen this movie twice together, Lisa and I, and we've also watched interviews of the actors and of the producer. We've seen all the clips. We've seen all kinds of stuff, and we formulated our opinion. The movie we're going to review is One Night in Miami.
And we told you guys ahead of time that this is spoiler alert. If you have not watched the movie and you plan to watch the movie and you don't want to know what happened in the movie, even though it's a semi-historical account, you already know what happened. But then don't watch.
Or if you think you can watch our show here today, us talk about it and still enjoy the movie,
then it's okay.
Yeah.
But I don't want to hear nobody talking about, you shouldn't have told me that, or you shouldn't have told me this, or you shouldn't have told me. No, everything is out today. Everything. So make sure you let us know where you're at. If you're on your way to work, if you are already at work, if you're on a train, where are you? What are you doing?
And this is also Monday. So the first day of the week, first day of the work week. So we do want to hear, how was your weekend?
How was your weekend?
For one thing. And also, do you have anything exciting you're looking forward to this week? A goal that you want to share or something like that? We'd love to hear all of that.
Absolutely.
So we're going to start our show officially in just a moment.
Absolutely. Good morning, Miss Yvette. So definitely buckle up, buttercup, because we're going to have a good show today.
Yes, we will.
We're going to have a good show.
Last night in the mountains. I'm looking forward to getting to my home. Definitely, I am looking forward to getting home. But I really enjoyed these 4 days here.
Absolutely.
We came with two other couples, and they were fun. We played adult games. We had adult conversations. Adult games.
Adult games.
Adult games like our version of Name That Tune or something. Or Jenga. And we played spades. That's what I mean.
Adult games has a really different.
That's because of your minds. To quote the poet group Salt and Pepper, get your dirty minds out the gutter. Okay, that's Salt and Pepper.
No, I cannot. Hey, Brittany. Good morning. Good morning. Huh?
Ain't got no comments.
You ain't got no? All right. Well, maybe they're on the main page.
Okay, cool. That's what we're going to do. So is it 9?
Yes, honey.
All right. Let's go and get started.
All right. So we are today. I am Lisa Santiago.
I'm Brian Keefe McNeil.
And this is Let's Talk About It on ESPTV7 on the SIBN Network, iHeart, iTunes, and right here on Facebook Live. This morning, we are doing a movie review. This is Monday morning movie review.
The 25th, I believe.
By the Empowerment Duo. Yes.
Yes. Now, the show is called Let's Talk About It. Now, we have threefold focus: personal conversations,
business information,
and spiritual inspiration. Together, we make up the Empowerment Duo, and our expressed ministry is economic independence through
entrepreneurship.
That's what we talk about. That's what we're going to do. But we want to add a little twist to it this morning. We're going to do, in addition to all those things, you don't look home to me. We're not at home.
We're not home.
We're still in the mountains. This is our last day in this cabin. We're leaving after the show, heading back home.
That's right.
So we're going to do all the things we normally do with a twist today. The twist today is that we're also going to do a movie review.
Right.
Movie we loved very much. The movie was called One Night in Miami. It's the tale of the night that, at the time, his name was Cassius Clay, won the heavyweight championship over Sonny Liston. Sonny Liston was an 8-1 favorite. Cassius was an 8-1 underdog. Cassius was 22 years old. And he hung out in a hotel room with three of his friends. It was Cassius Clay, soon to be known as Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, Muhammad Ali.
That's right. Malcolm X was there as well. Jim Brown, who had just completed a historic season in the NFL, rushing for 1,863 yards in 14 games. That's amazing. And dang, I always start off his name. Sam Cooke. I was born on by the river. That's Sam Cooke. Okay, those four men, those four friends. At the time, Sam Cooke was probably the number one rock and roll singer in the world. Okay?
Rock and roll, R&B.
Well, I think he's R&B too, but Muhammad Ali always referred to him as a rock and roll singer. So I'm deferred to what his friends called him at that time. Okay.
So this was the directorial debut of Regina King.
I know Regina King.
227.
227. Poetic Justice. She was in a few. You know who Regina King is.
Absolutely.
Her directorial debut.
We grew up with Regina King.
That's
right? Mm-hmm. So this was her directorial debut, and she chose to use this movie. I forget the name of the writer. This is actually a bit of a creative license taken with the movie. It's not an actual account. It's a creative account of the day.
Yeah, and based upon truisms. Now, some of the dates are off now. This movie is hampered to people who know a lot about that history. Okay, because they'll know, well, that didn't happen then and that didn't happen then. Yes, that happened, but that happened a year later, not at that time.
Right.
So they chopped some stuff together into one night. Yeah.
It's okay.
It doesn't hurt the movie.
It does not hurt the movie at all. And if you guys enjoy this movie review, then maybe we will review other movies in the future. Monday morning movie review, I think, might be a good segment to have coming back again. So the movie starts out right before the fight.
Yes, right before the fight, the day of the fight that he's going to fight Sonny Liston. Now, actually, the opening scenes is the singer
Sam Cooke.
Sam Cooke. He had, at the time, like this is 1963, 1964. At the time.
Oh, at the Copacabana.
Yes.
Yeah.
At the time, black people were not fully welcome in all the great venues of our country.
Yeah.
And one of the great venues is the Copacabana up in New York City.
And he had dreamt of being at that particular venue. It was almost one of his
it was a
goal.
holy grail.
Right. It was
something sought after,
goal
a
for
target. If you could ever get to the Copa,
then
then you made it. If you get to play the Copa. And he starts out, first off, they give him crazy rules. Your guitarist can't be on the stage. Your guitarist has to be up in the bandstand or not at all. We already got people in the bandstand. So, yeah, but it's going to mess up my arrangement. So they're having an argument with the club owner. Well, the club owner's not going for it, okay?
He's like, we'll put a magician up before we put y'all up.
Yep. Now, this is an all-white audience.
Yes.
Okay. All-white owned. Okay.
Good morning, Beverly. Good morning, Tim. Okay. Good morning, Miss Vivian.
So he finally has to capitulate because he still wanted to play the Copa.
Right.
And he goes up there and he attempts to engage the audience. How y'all doing? Stuff that he would always do.
Yeah, but this audience was not interested. They were ordering food while he was going. They were murmuring and complaining. It was just
they didn't
not
know him. They didn't care to know him. So he could never connect with the audience. Mm-hmm. And then the song he chose, he thought they would recognize. They did recognize the song, but they recognized the song better when another white woman sang it, Debbie Reynolds. Mm-hmm. Okay, so they prefer her version.
The other version to his version. So he just fell flat. Anyway,
he bombed that night.
He really did.
At the Copa.
He really did. He bombed. He fell very flat. He went in the back. They tried to diss him. One of his the club owner tried to diss him. They kicked him out, but he had to once again admit he stank.
Yeah, and his boys was there to kind of like put him back together.
Yeah.
So that's the opening scene, and then cut to Malcolm X. Mm-hmm. Malcolm X, at the time was being silenced by the Nation of Islam because November the year before in Dallas, Texas, you guys might remember 1963, Dallas, Texas, November the 7th, John F. Kennedy was assassinated. And he was a very popular president at the time that he was assassinated. And everyone was mourning. My grandparents mourned big time. And Malcolm X says he saw that as a sign of chickens coming home to roost.
And they kind of took that as a little bit too forward, a little bit too, that they put him in his place.
Yes, the Nation of Islam said, that was a very popular man. You shouldn't have did it. You're making us look bad. So for 1 year, you are silent. You can't speak in any temples, you can't speak in public. So he had to go by that. He had to be silent for a year. Now they don't tell you that in the movie, but they allude to it. Okay, so he couldn't speak out in public, but he did have a friend, and his friend was Cassius Clay, going to fight for the heavyweight champ, and he was Cassius's spiritual advisor and his teacher. Good morning, Tim. Good morning, Julie Ray Hammondtree. Actually, November 22nd, 1963. That's right. Well, something else happened November 7th, 1963. But thank you, Julie.
Julie, love her some history, honey.
And I appreciate y'all. Keep me right. You know,
I don't try to quote dates.
I try
because I can remember my birthday. That's almost the only one I remember.
See, but if I didn't misquote, Julie wouldn't have had the opportunity to correct me.
Absolutely, we wouldn't have had it right. Now we got it straight. So then there was a decision that Malcolm X was in the process of making as well, because it was not only because he was being silenced that he was silenced. It was also because he had learned some things about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad that did not sit well with him.
Yes.
And that had caused him to otherwise also decide that he was going to separate himself from the Nation of Islam.
Now, a lot of you guys know what Malcolm discovered that caused him to lose favor in his leader, to see his leader as less than what he had seen him. Because he had saw his leader, Elijah Muhammad, as a God, and as a spiritual teacher, as a rescuer, as a savior of the earth. And then when he discovered that he had fathered 8 children, you know, or 9 children by 8 different women, something like that. Keep me right, y'all. 8 children by 9 children by 8 different women.
A bunch of people.
Yes.
A bunch of women by
teenage girls.
A bunch of babies by a bunch of teenage girls. Yes. And had not taken care of them or made provision for them.
And they got excommunicated out of the nation.
The girls, not him.
Right. So he thought that was wrong. How could you do that? How could you do that to these young girls?
Mm-hmm. And so that didn't sit well with him.
Right.
And now one of the things that kept getting me confused is he had not yet made his Mecca, because once his Hajj, right? Mm-hmm. Once he had made his Hajj, and this wasn't in the movie, but he also realized that the Nation of Islam had taken some creative license as it relates to their interpretation of Islam.
Yes. When he got a chance to see real Islam over in Jerusalem, was it Jerusalem? Where is it? Where did he have to go? Mecca. He had to go to Mecca to call Hajj. Every Muslim is supposed to take their one trip to Mecca at least once in their lifetimes. So he did his Hajj, and he saw people with the blondest of hair, the bluest of eyes, praying to the same God as him. And he got a chance to realize, oh my gosh, the way we had been taught about Islam was wrong.
That it was only black, and that
right,
and all the white people were devils and all that. Anyway, get back on the subject. So at this point, it was right before Cassius Clay's fight, and he came and met with Malcolm X for his prayer.
Mm-hmm. So, and that faith at the time, and probably still the case, they're supposed to pray 5 times a day.
It is still the case.
So he went to Malcolm X's hotel room to do his prayer right before his fight. It's interesting to me that Ali referred to that prayer with Malcolm before the fight as his insurance policy.
Yeah, that was a beautiful concept as well. Mm-hmm. Oh, but don't forget the photo shoot, that awesome photo shoot in the pool. That happened before the prayer.
Now that happened well before that happened. In the lead up to the fight, you know, Ali was trying to promote himself, and they had a pool somewhere where he was staying, and he got Life magazine to come by, and Ali got this great idea. Hey, look, why don't you shoot me underwater, throwing punches underwater? That way, because that's my training method. That's what I do, so I can punch so fast, okay? Mm-hmm. And he had never done it before, but he had told the magazine, y'all been doing this for a while. This is how I get such fast hands, punch under the water, okay? And they bought into it, the whole thing. And then they did the pictures of it. And the pictures of it, the whole article came out before the fight. It came out before the fight. So, so everyone got a chance to see this young, loudmouth kid with this unusual training methodology of fighting underwater.
Julie Ray said, gorgeous man. That's right, Muhammad Ali was. Hafida, good morning. Hafida Ben Kadel. Thank you for joining us this morning. But so it was a very, very interesting moment. So then after he went and met with, what I really liked about that scene when Cassius Clay came and met with Malcolm X to have the prayer was that it was so, you could tell it was so important to Cassius Clay.
Yes.
And that he was so respectful of the process. And that he was so respectful of learning
and appreciative that Malcolm was his teacher.
Yeah.
Yep. But we're not going to tell you every bit and piece of the movie, but I do want to tell you some general themes. When the men, after Ali won the fight, and they gathered in the hotel room. Now, Malcolm was charged at the time. He got these four black men, four powerful men in their own right, okay, titans of their own areas, okay? And Malcolm wanted them to do more for the cause. You know, Jim Brown is a pro football player. You know, Ali's a boxer. Sam Cooke is a singer. But he wanted them to use whatever they were doing.
Each one of your strengths, let's put them together and make the strongest strength.
For the cause.
Right, for the cause, the black cause.
Because black people are dying every day. He don't want Sam Cooke just to sing and be great.
In his mind, he wasn't doing enough for the cause.
Yes, and Jim Brown, none of you were doing enough.
Now that was, to me, a very important point, right? Because that happens even still today. We overlook other people's contributions because they don't look like ours. And I think it's so important that we look at our part and support and encourage someone else's part, but you don't have to disparage their part.
Not only do you don't have to disparage, but it's how unfair is it for you to put what you think they should do on them,
right?
As opposed to what they think they should do. That's not fair to anybody. You know what you should do? You should be going down there picking up trash from the side of the road. You know, wait a minute, I'm a singer. Yes, right. But if you do it, other people will do it too. You'd be a better example. You could lead this mission. Okay, I don't want to lead that mission. I want to lead my own mission.
Absolutely.
How could you not? You know, that's an extreme example, but that's tantamount to what was going on.
And I think that it's important for all of us to come to that conclusion, though, that each of our individual strengths are important to be used in the way that God intends for you to use them.
Yes. Yes, the way that God intends for you, not for someone else. And it's such a, we have such a history of people putting that on each other. And I really believe it drags each other down.
However, now there is something to be said about spurring someone on. There is something to be said because in all honesty, I do not believe Sam Cooke would have gone ahead and released Down by the river. Right?
I was born by the river. Y'all know the song. In a little tent. Oh, just like that river I've been running ever since. Y'all know the song.
Absolutely.
It's been a long. That song is so beautiful.
It is beautiful. But you have to wonder if there had not been that moment of contention, if there had not been that moment of awareness when Malcolm X brought what's his name song up,
Bob Dylan's song,
Blowing in the Wind.
How many miles must a man walk down before you call him a man? Come on.
If he had not sort of spurned him on with that song and had some of those moments in history had not happened, he may have not very well been compelled to be bold enough, because it took some boldness, right? It took some boldness because he was doing the dance music, he was doing the pop music, he was doing the love making music.
That's what he was selling.
Right? He was selling love, but he wasn't at that moment yet doing any of the civil message type music.
That may be the case.
So there's a balance in there.
But I think he had eyes and ears too. He saw the same things that everyone else saw. And I think that pricks his spirit just as much.
Absolutely, but I think that they all go together.
I agree with you, right? Even though he saw the stuff going on in the world around him, that he saw was ugly, and he saw it was painful, and he wanted to do something about it, but he had something to sell at the time too.
He did, and he also had his lane.
Yes.
Right?
That's probably the biggest point of Sam Cooke.
He was helping the cause economically in his lane. He was one of the few African Americans singer-songwriters that owned their masters.
Was producing other
Other performers and getting opportunities for other performers to sell their music.
Yep.
And to gain royalties for it. Because he could have very well taken the masters for that other guy as the record label and not given him royalties.
That's right.
He could have very well done that. Like, you sing it good, you can get all the money from that you want, but I'm taking it and I'm doing this with it, and these $250,000 over here, these mine. Right. He didn't do that.
He put money in the other artists' pockets.
He put money in the other artists' pockets, absolutely.
Now, that wasn't Strange Fruit, but I know the song you're talking about, Strange Fruit. Ooh, what a powerful song, especially in this day. Strange Fruit was, that's the song, might have been Billie Holiday, might have been someone of that ilk, but it's a song of strange fruit in the South. And what the song is about is hanging people from trees, people hanging from trees, you know, and you see that often. That's some strange fruit. Yeah. Okay. But that wasn't Sam Cooke. Okay?
But it's those types of messages. Yes. Those types of messages that, you know, there are some people that say, you know, I don't want that in my song. That
Strange Fruit was in the 20s. And I know it was in the 1920s because the singer of that song, they kind of censored her to not sing that song anymore. Okay, the president didn't want to hear that song anymore. That was about the same time in the movie Birth.
Nina, is it Nina who?
Who? Nina?
That's what Julie says.
Not Nina Simone. Okay, we can look it up. Way further back.
Okay, I can't look back.
I can look it up too, but then I'll lose my place.
Yeah, and I'll lose it. Look it up. Somebody Google it.
Google it. The song Strange Fruit. Who wrote it and who sang it. Now, a lot of people sang it. Try to come up with the original one if you can. And the years. That'd be great if you were willing to do that for us.
Absolutely. So
what it is we got so much sleep yesterday.
Oh my goodness. I don't think I got up for more than 5 minutes of the whole Sunday.
You got up more than that because we hit the hot tub too.
Oh,
we did the hot tub yesterday. Yeah, we did yesterday morning.
We did yesterday morning. And then after that, we stayed in bed.
We sometimes when was the last time you had a day where you had too much sleep? We did. We got a lot of naps yesterday.
It was good having too much sleep. Jack, she said yes. Nina Simone sang it.
Yes.
Nina Simone sang it, but I don't think she's the original.
She's not
author because she's not old enough.
Nope.
So then you go to this fight. The fight is amazing.
Now the movie makes it look like the fight lasted one round. It actually lasted six rounds. But the first round of the fight was probably the greatest round that anyone's seen.
They actually showed two fights.
Yes, they did. They showed the Henry Cooper fight, which is the one right before he fought some of this. Henry Cooper over in London, who was the number one boxer in London. And Ali at the time, Ali made his fame by predicting the round that he would knock the guy out. Okay, he predicted the round he would not, and it was like, who could predict the round? But Ali did, and very often he was right. Now he predicted round 5 he would knock out Henry Cooper. He got off the plane. He was on 5. I'm gonna knock this guy out in 5 rounds. And in the first round, second round, third round, he was toying with Cooper, but bloodying him up.
But playing with him,
but bloodying his face up.
Almost the way you play with see a cat play with a mouse.
Yeah, but he was beating him up, but playing. And in round 4, he was playing around. His man was badly battered, and near the end of the round, he kept his hands down too long and caught him on the left, and it knocked him into the ring, into the ropes, and down. Now, in actuality, Ali went down, and he was up like at the count of 2 or 3. But he was completely dazed. He stood up and ding, the round was over. Now he went to his corner, out of it. Okay. Now in between rounds in box, you get 1 minute of rest. Now, what they didn't show in the movie, I'm just giving you guys some historical context. His corner man, Angelo Dundee, cut Ali's glove, like put a slit in it, and then kind of pulled it apart a little bit in between rounds 4 and 5. And then he told the referee, look, my fighter's glove is split. We got to get a new glove. We can't go out there with a split glove.
To give him an extra minute.
It gave him an extra like 5 more minutes.
Yeah.
So somebody had to run back to the back of the arena, get a fresh set of gloves, come back out, and put the fresh set of gloves on. And that gave Ali enough time to clear his head and get back together. When people talk about that, that's kind of like cheating.
Kind of like cheating?
Yes.
That was cheating.
Yeah.
That was cheating. But anyway.
But after that round, Ali got back, got right to business, and knocked him out. Okay. I mean, it finished the fight. So that was amazing.
But the main fight, the championship fight was Sonny Liston.
Yes.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
Now, Sonny Liston was, again, like I said earlier, it was 8-1 favorite that Liston would win that fight. Okay? Liston had been destroying everybody within 1 to 3 rounds. People predicted that Ali would be knocked out in less than 3 rounds. That's what was the prevailing thought, that he'd be knocked out in less than 3 rounds. Now, Ali thought he would win because he had the nation on the side. His trainer, Angelo Dundee, was sure Ali would win. He was positive of it. He thought it would be an easy fight. And no one could understand how, Angelo, you're so respected, Angelo. We know you, Angelo. You've been training other trainers. You trained other champions. You know boxing. What's wrong with you to think that this kid is going to make it an easy fight over Sonny Liston? No way.
Hide and watch. Hide and watch.
But Angelo was right, because Liston could not hit him. He couldn't catch him. He could barely, he catch him once or twice here and there, but not much.
He was doing all of his floating and butterflying. Oh, thank you, Miss Phyllis. She said
Billie Holiday,
Billie
yes,
Holiday in
yes.
1939.
39. Okay, cool. Well, man, it was a big thing I read about before. 21 was Birth of a Nation, so 39. So anyway, thank you very much, Billie Holiday, 1939. Who did that for us?
That was Miss Phyllis.
Miss Phyllis, I appreciate you. Thank you. Melissa Price is here. Good morning to you. How was your weekend? We're doing a movie review. So what I want to do in the remaining time of the review before we do the songs is I want Lisa and I to kind of delve into what each main character was at, what was going on. You know, we already talked about how Malcolm was silenced but on fire at the same time and under pressure. He was under pressure. He was extremely under pressure, you know.
He was under pressure by the nation. He was under pressure with his conscience. He was under pressure with his wife. He's under pressure.
He had death threats over his head, a lot of them, and his family, you know, death threats. So,
and because of his role, he was also being, he was almost in a situation. The nation was in charge of him.
Yes,
they provided his means, that he was
home,
dependent upon them, and not only was that he depended upon them, they almost controlled his every move, because Brother Kareem was assigned to him.
Yep.
And so he knew whatever he was doing, however he was doing,
That's
whatever
right.
he could report back to the nation.
Yep. His bodyguards and driver were assigned to him. He didn't get a chance to pick those. So, but that was his head. Jim Brown, he also realized that he had been the top of this game for a long time, 9 years. And he had did a movie that summer that he hadn't yet told his friends about, and a Western movie. And at the time, he was probably earning, 25, 30 grand a year in the NFL season. But it took him 2 months to film that movie, and they paid him 35 grand back in 1963. He was like, whoa, I make all this much money and I'm shooting a movie, and
nobody hit me?
Nobody's hitting me. I wasn't even trying to be an actor, but they wanted me to be an actor. Maybe there's a future for me in this.
Right. And I thought that was a really interesting element as well, for him to have that opportunity. Go ahead.
One of the most poignant scenes with Jim Brown happened also very early in the movie.
Yeah, when he first arrived.
He went to back his hometown on some island in Georgia, some island off of Georgia. And one of the prominent people in the city wanted to see him. And he went to see that man, and the man had a beautiful estate.
So hospitable.
Beautiful estate, beautiful house. Jim Brown, at the time, again, legendary NFL running back, greatest football player in the world.
And treated him as such.
They greeted him. He came out on the porch and got his woman to make him some lemonade. And he's sitting there. Couldn't be more nice to Jim. He's like, yeah, Jim, anything you need while you're on my island, anything you need.
Talking about those closed-minded people, don't worry about them. We got your back, blah, blah, blah. He was it was unsettling to me.
Well, Jim Brown was certainly appreciating the hospitality, because not everyone on the island had treated them well.
Absolutely.
And he goes, don't worry about them. But then the wife came and says, honey, I'm sorry to interrupt, but you said you'd help me move that bureau in the room, move the dresser. And he goes, oh, I apologize, sweetheart. I'm going to go do that right now. He jumps up, to go move the bureau that his wife asked him to move. And Jim is, how could you not? He's sitting there. He knows he's an athlete. He said, hey, you about to move some furniture? He goes, yeah. He goes, why don't you let me help you with that? He goes, thanks, Jim, but I'm sorry. You know we don't let niggas in the house. And he turned around and left him on the front porch.
As if he had just said, I don't like milk in my coffee. I mean, he said it so cavalier. I don't like eggs with my bacon.
We don't let niggas in the house.
Oh, it was like, oh my God. That was such an unsettling moment because it was so cavalier.
And so opposite of what just happened moments ago.
Absolutely, which harkened me back to the conversation that we all had on here earlier last week when we were talking about how do you want your interactions? Do you want them to be respectful or do you want them to be truthful? And I'm telling you, that drove home for me the fact that I want them to be truthful. I don't want you smiling and carrying on and acting like we best friends, and that's really not who we are.
Okay. I think I still maintain.
I know you still would rather be cordial.
Yeah, there's room for decorum and cordiality. And if you hate me behind your eyes, behind your smile, you hate me because of who I am, I keep it to yourself. I don't need to know. It's none of my business what you're thinking of me. Okay. And that thought process of it's none of my business has kept a lot of prominent people sane. Muhammad Ali, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the first person I heard that from. I read his autobiography as well. Imagine him, 7 feet tall, 17 years old in New York City. And grown people, they all said the same jokes. How's the weather up there? Ha, 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 ha. And man, because it's okay to make fun of the freak, right? It's okay to make fun of them. So he had to come up with a strategy on how to deal with this talk. And what he came up with was, it's none of my business what they think of me. Okay, it only matters what me and my parents think of me.
I absolutely think that is a totally different thing. I understand your illustration, but I don't think that they are anything the same. Anyway, so we go from there, and now these 4 guys are hanging out together in the after party that is not a party.
Which is the other thing. Jim Brown and Sam Cooke and Cassius Clay, they wanted to party. Mm-hmm. But Malcolm X was like, no, I think this is a good moment for us to reflect.
Now, absolutely. Now, I did appreciate the moment as well that John Barnett described.
Okay.
They were 4 powerful African American men, all in suits, having conversation, all accomplished. And I thought that was a good moment to show. But I also think that it was good. I can't remember who said it, if it was Sam or if it was Jim or if it was, I can't remember who, but them saying that there's nobody else like us.
Muhammad Ali said, Cassius Clay said that to Sam Cooke. We have to stick together. Why? Because no one else is going to understand but us. Mm-hmm. No one else can understand this position, but they can think they can understand, but until you're in it. Tiger Woods had a similar thought. When he talked to Michael Jordan, because Michael Jordan is the only one that probably could understand what it's like to be Tiger Woods. And for a season that Tiger Woods was the #1 athlete in the world. And for a season there, Jordan was the #1 athlete in the world. And only #1 athletes in the world can understand other #1 athletes in the world.
What it takes, what it costs,
as black men at that.
What it entails,
the pressures that come with it, the public appearances, how you have to stay private, how do you behave publicly, so only they can understand that. Who could Michael Jackson talk to when he was in his heyday?
I think that was a challenge. Mm-hmm. That there was not people in his inner circle that were at the same level as he or ever will be, I think.
Right. That highlights a point that we all need peers to talk to. But we also need someone to push us. Muhammad Ali would not have been Muhammad Ali if we didn't have Joe Frazier, an adversary, and George Foreman and Ken Norton and Leon Spinks and Larry Holmes those people in his life, those major pushers. Mm-hmm. They were trying to get what he got. He had to do all he could to stay on top. Mm-hmm. Sugar Ray Leonard would not have been Sugar Ray Leonard if it hadn't been for Tommy Hearns and Roberto Duran and Marvin Hagler and Wilfredo Benitez, those kinds of amazing talented people that were every bit as good as him, but he had to be inches more better to beat them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because they were just as talented. You know, and they wanted it too. They wanted to win as well.
Absolutely.
But you have to dig deep. And if you don't have someone like that you're competing with, going back to even another line, if you don't have anyone to be accountable to, it's hard for you to really reach your level.
I think accountability is a critical component. It's a key and critical component. I think that was sort of what Malcolm ascribed for himself.
And for the other guys.
That's what I mean, to the other guys.
Yes.
Yeah, he was ascribing himself as the voice of accountability.
Making it his job.
Yeah.
To hold those back men accountable.
Now, the challenge can always be that ain't nobody asked you.
That's right. I didn't ask you for that. I don't want that from you.
I don't want that from you. I didn't ask you for it. And, you know, good luck for you, but that's not what I want. Good morning, Brittany. Good morning. Good morning. It's 9:32. It's time for the songs.
Let's go do the songs today. Now, if you don't know, this is your first time visiting. We've never done a movie review on this show before, so we kind of had some fun with it today. But this is still Monday, the first day of your work week. Now, on Mondays, just like we do every day, we like to take time to thank those of you who are consistent contributors to the show. Where's your charger?
I'm not going to hit it. We'll just end the show when it's over.
Okay, because we got low battery now, so we might die on you. Got 10%. We're all right. Consistent contributors have been rocking with us for years. The way we do that was with greeting songs or greeting logos, and it goes a little something like this. Who's first?
Yvette.
Dear Yvette.
Dear Yvette. Dear Yvette. Dear Yvette.
I can hear the volume coming out.
There's nothing I can do. It's already turned down as far as it can go, but thank you.
Let me tell you, we had so much fun in this weekend. We played some games where we got a chance. We played a game like was almost like the modern day version of the newlywed game, where we got a chance to see which couples know each other best. Lisa and I won. We know each other the best out of the 3 couples that were here.
That's funny. We probably spend more time together than any of
Miss
the other
Vivian
couples.
is here.
Vivian Reed is here. Vivian Reed is here. Now the show can go on.
Good morning, Miss Vivian. How you doing? Yes, we did. We demonstrated that we know each other as a couple better than the other 2 couples knew each other as a couple. And one of the other couples had been married for 12 years. But in the game that we played, Lisa and I, because we're around each other all the time. I know Lisa and she knows me pretty good. There were just very few questions that was asked that we didn't both agree on the answer of. You know, there was one question I'll let you know that Lisa got incorrectly. You know, was which one of the 2 of us is funnier? Which one of us is funnier? Okay, and Lisa thought it was her, but that's a mistake because it's not her. It's definitely me. How did I do this here?
Stop touching it!
Stop. Okay. Yes. So, what say you? Those of you who have been around the show long enough, who's funnier? Lisa or Brian? Now, funnier, just simply funnier. Who made you laugh more? Okay. And we'll see who gets the right answer. Okay, who's next?
Miss Phyllis is here. Look at the screen. It's right on the screen.
Good morning, Miss Phyllis. What are you talking about? She says good morning.
Right, honey. You said who's next. It's on the screen.
That could have been held over from
I just
before.
put it up there.
See? Skillet time. Miss Phyllis is here. So clear the way. Miss Phyllis is here. Now we can all have a great day. Notice how I can make Lisa laugh.
Good morning, Miss Phyllis.
Miss Tamara Atwater is here.
Tamara Atwater. Tamara Atwater. Children. Tamara Atwater. Ivy Hilton Crochet and Tamara Atwater.
Good morning, Miss Tamara.
Yes.
Miss Julie Ray Hammondtree is here.
Go ahead.
Julie Ray Hammondtree, find out what she means to me. Julie Ray Hammondtree, find out what she means to me.
Good morning, Julie
Beverly
Ray.
says, move something Monday, motivate yourself. Good morning, everyone. And Dr. Beverly is on the show. Dr. Beverly, uniquely taking over Thomas. How you doing, my sister?
Amen. Who we got? Who we got? Who we got?
Anybody else?
I think so. I think I saw Brittany. Oh, it's Melissa.
Melissa Price is here. Bam, 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 bam. Melissa. Now it's time for us to sing our song. Melissa's on. Good morning, Miss Melissa Price.
Good morning.
This is my old tablet.
No, it's not.
See that crack? This is the one that I replaced.
It is not. I dropped it. This is mine. Yours is much more cracked. Please let me tell you. This is not yours.
I'm gonna put you in a headlock if you keep using that tone of voice, young lady.
Because you just make so many assumptions.
And when you assume,
it's Brittany, it's Brittany, it's Brittany, Brittany Thomas,
it's Brittany, it's Brittany, it's Brittany, Brittany,
it's your time. It's your time, yeah.
Good morning, Miss Brittany Thomas. How was your weekend?
Good morning.
Did you have a good weekend?
I think that's it. That's everybody.
Okay, good. And if you thought that was cute, you thought that was fun, you want a song of your own, you can get one. You can get one. Hang out with us and recommend the song. We'll get you a song.
Absolutely.
I am excited that today is Monday. You know, we got a 4-hour drive ahead of us.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. Just 4 hours. We'll be home soon, and we get to go back to work. We did not do much work while we were here.
No, I did some mind mapping, but I didn't do any work because I just really relaxed.
Because this is what this trip was for.
Ms. Phyllis says, can the info for the cabin be shared, please? I'm happy to share it. I'll share it.
Let me tell you about that, okay? Because I've got a couple of requests about, can you info the links? Now, one of the perks that Lisa and I have is we have a travel person, okay? Her name is Tara Lyles. We don't mind sharing her. And we've had her for many years now, maybe 3, 4 years. We've been using Tara for travel. A conversation with Tara is better than any link that we could send you.
Absolutely.
We can send you a link, but a conversation with, Tara's been our travel person for years. So what she could do is she could find deals for us based upon what she thinks we'd like. Like she found this deal. And then she found the deal first, and then she reached out to us to see if we wanted to make it happen. So I would say to you, those of you who want information on the cabin trip, because you're up in New York, Miss Phyllis, I let our travel lady, Tara, she might be able to recommend a cool spot within driving distance of where you are.
Right. You might want to go to the Poconos instead of coming all the way down here. Hey, Kashmira. Good morning. She says, hi, Brian. I catch your lives here because it is almost the end of my day as you both begin your show. I love the both of you. Lisa is incredible. And oh, you are not too shabby too. Thank you both for being so real. Kashmira, thank you so much.
This is someone that we met through B-Team, I believe.
Probably.
Yep. Thank you very much, Kashmira. That was a nice thing to say. Lisa's incredible, but you are right. Kashmira, that's so funny.
All right.
Some people have said something similar to Lisa and that. Thanks for being real with us. When Lisa's tripping, I let y'all know they appreciate that. You
know? Miss Phyllis says yes, she is up north, but her daughter is here. But when she comes down, she might want to do something down south.
Yes. Now, I did a video this morning, and the video I titled it "Just Go," just go, and I used the African proverb: "If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together." And I use that as a premise to suggest to you that you should go and travel, but go and travel with other people. That helps to defray the cost. It makes the trip more safe. It makes it more fun even when you go with other people. Partner up with other people that you know, friends of yours, and you all go in together to get you a villa, to get you a house, to rent a place. You guys do it together. It's just a much better experience.
Yes.
So that's my suggestion. Now we're gonna get knocked off on here before the end of the show, I suspect. But if we do, we still love you.
Absolutely, we appreciate you. Miss Brittany says she did have a great weekend. I'm glad you had a great weekend. I'm certainly looking forward to hearing more about what you guys did over the weekend. So please feel free to share. I think that it would be great to show them around the cabin. What do you think?
I don't, but I do want to do this.
Okay.
Because February is going to be here next week. Okay, today's the 25th, so this month ends this week. But in February, we have 3 showcases in February. The first one, I think, is February the 6th.
Yes,
What
February the
happens on February
6th.
6th?
It is the power of Black history, and we have 6 amazing speakers that will be talking about. We have Dr. Deborah, she'll be speaking about healing. We have Dr. Barbara Peacock, she'll be speaking about spirituality in the African American community. And we have Miss Donna Lee Reed will be talking about helps and the power of helps in the African American community. We have Michael Carson talking about the power of invention in African American history. We have our very own Brian Keith McNeil talking about the power of communication in African American history. And none other than Evan Jefferson will be sharing with us as it relates to money in African American history.
So that's the African American history event.
Well, the whole month will be focused on African American history.
Why are you doing African American history?
Because it's Black History Month.
That's not just why.
And
go ahead.
What?
And because so much of the history that we grew up learning about has been omitted, never learned. And
limited, right? Yes. And that's also why I didn't wait till February. If y'all have noticed, we've been talking about African American history, and we're still in January. We've been talking about this since early January about African American history and bringing up different things. We could actually fill the entire year with African American history if we wanted to. As a matter of fact, I'm looking forward to receiving our books on February the 2nd, where we will be able to have an African American, a notable African American contribution for every single day, because we receive our books from Michael Carson.
Like, if you remember, Michael Carson's the guest we had a couple Fridays ago. He wrote 3 amazing books. One is on great African American inventors,
musicians, and today in African American history.
Yes, today in African American history. Something for each day of the year, which we think is great. And this is I know I'm messing this up because he looks younger than he actually is. I was getting ready to say, this is from a young man, but he's actually in his 40s. Yes. He looks like he's in his late 20s. I thought surely I was old enough to be his dad, but I'm not.
Good morning, Bill. Today on One Word Conversations, the word of the day is contentment. And Bill Brown's special guest, Pamela Dreswecki.
Shepherd Dreswecki
will be joining him right here on the Empowerment Duo page on the Empowerment Network.
Absolutely. Good morning to our friend Bill. Nobody thinks like him still.
You gonna sing the song?
I just did.
No.
Good morning to our friend Bill. Nobody thinks like him still. We love him so, and we always will. Our friend Bill. Good morning to our friend Bill.
That's right. Good morning. Good morning. Whew, it has been a long and restful week, and I think I need some rest from my rest.
Which is very possible sometimes. Sometimes we go so much on the weekends, but we didn't go so much. We stayed in the house.
Hot tub, bed, hot tub.
By the way, I did play spades yesterday. Today. It wasn't fair. It wasn't fair.
Pretty.
It wasn't fair either.
It wasn't good.
Me and brother Bryce obliterated Michelle and her husband Chad. Now, when we first mentioned we were going to play, they said, "Oh, we don't mind giving lessons." We beat them by like 400 something points. Okay, how you beat someone by 400 points in spades? Because we're on a different level than them.
Oh my goodness! That's why I don't play with him.
On the level that they're at, they thought that was good. No. But on the level that they're at, they're probably good. But they stepped into a new arena. Playing against us.
Lord have mercy.
They played against some spadesologists, and they weren't ready. Okay,
spadesologists.
Yeah, they weren't ready, so we had to obligatorily obliterate them. There was no mercy. There will be no mercy on the spades table.
No mercy.
No one. We had a pool table downstairs, and I played pool several times by myself because no one was courageous enough to step up. Yeah.
Brother Roy is like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah, how you beat someone?
400 points.
Yes. We need them by that many points.
And the game only went to 350.
Because they ended up in a hole. They ended up negative. And why they ended up negative? Because they kept thinking they had good hands. We're going to go for 7. We're going to go for 7. We set them so many times on 7.
Wow. That was horrible.
I could take a mediocre hand and play it better than they did. Which is what
you
I
are
did
so
on here.
horrible.
Hey, it is what it is. Okay.
You are so horrible.
They thought they had good hands and they got obliterated.
That is horrible. That is
It was horrible.
horrible.
I ain't even want to play them anymore. I was like, nah, that's it.
Nah, we got you, Bill. We got you. We got your song out there. All that fresh air. I really think, Julie Ray, that had a lot to do with it. The air was beautiful. It was magnificent.
Mm-hmm. Roy says, check the cards. Now, that was my first time playing with these cards. I ordered, y'all probably saw the ads on Facebook, these waterproof African cards. I'm playing cards. They had like African people on it, kings and queens. The cards are gold, and they're really, really strong cards. And that was my first time playing with that deck of cards. We broke it out, and I probably never sliced and dice and slash and dash anybody as worse as we did them. So on my first time playing with that deck of cards, that's what happened.
So those are your lucky cards now?
If you're skilled, you don't need luck. Okay. Check the cards, Roy. I understand what you're saying, man. Those are a brand new deck of cards.
Bill said, was the lesson, don't overplay your hand.
They needed that lesson, Bill, before the game started. They got excited when they got a good hand. Ooh, I got a joker. Ooh.
Ooh, Lord have mercy.
And we handled them. Oh, it was terrible. It was as if I took my belt off to them.
Oh my goodness.
I know they might see this.
I did not play because I do not.
Lisa doesn't understand half the game. Half the game is psychological warfare, and Lisa does not understand that at all. That's why she can't play spades.
Whatever.
Because she don't understand that that's a part of the game, baby.
It is the part that I don't
Roy, tell her. That's a part of the game.
I know how to play spades.
You don't know how to play spades.
But I do not know how to trash talk.
You know how to play spades the way someone learns how to ride a bicycle in a classroom. You can explain to them all you want. They even understand the rules. You have to get up on the bike, pedal this way, balance yourself that way, turn. You understand all of that technically. But until you get on the bike, until you talk some trash, you don't know how to play. You don't know how to ride until you ride. You don't know how to play yet, baby. That's just that.
Whatever.
She don't know how to play spades. She can't handle pool.
No, I don't know how to play pool.
I can teach you. I've tried to teach you at least once. Okay.
I don't know if you did it.
I am terrible in games because every time I play one of these games, I expect to win. Lisa finds that that's bad. I expect that I'm going to win. She thinks that's bad.
He has no sportsmanship.
I have a lot of sportsmanship, but I expect to win. I don't even want to play against someone who's going to come on the table with me and not try to win. You're going to play against me. Try to win. Roy says, it's all in your partner and you able to communicate without talking. Oh, my gosh. Now, that's the other thing, Roy. The team we played against, they were a husband-wife team, and they attempted to talk across the board. We weren't having that. They were saying stuff like, oh, that's such a good play, honey. Yeah, come on with those. Yeah. I know she's telling him to play that suit again. Let's talk across the board. Yep, they tried those moves on us. Punk step up to get beat down.
Well, we're going to get out of here 5 minutes early. You're going to go ahead and stay tuned for Coffee Time with Coach Ja. Stay tuned for Coffee Time with Coach Ja. He will be up at 10 a.m. right here on the Empowerment Network.
And at 11 a.m.
At 11 a.m. You got one more conversation with William Brown, and his special guest today is Pamela
And the
Shepherd
word is contentment.
Driswicky, and the word is contentment. Send your prayers to us for traveling mercies, and we love you. I am Lisa Santiago McNeil.
And I'm Brian Keith McNeil.
And we'll see you later.
Tomorrow.
Don't forget to have sex. Bye.